Sarah at Baltimore. Thank you very much, Sarah. Sarah, as it happens, is looking for a ride home to Orange, New Jersey anytime tomorrow. So if anybody's in a position to offer Sarah a ride, please make yourselves known to her. Anytime at all tomorrow. Next, we're going to have some poetry by Susan Stewart.
I brought two poems that I think relate to the theme of this evening. The first one is addressed to another great heretic, Giordano Bruno, who was burned at the stake in 1600 for his unpopular ideas, one of which was that there was existence elsewhere in the universe. And this poem is called Life on Other Planets. A field of flowers, the Campo di Fiori, and other things not so perfect as flowers. What can be perfect and not beautiful? This little olive that is soaked up all the yellow green of Tuscany, that still sings the music of silver branches, the wind lifting over the northern hills. No, it's the perfectly bitter olives, black as Giordano Bruno's eyes, the dry coals glowing beneath his cowl and putting out the blossoming flames. And it seems as if 4 small boys have stepped out of the shadows and begun something heartless and romantic, something that sounds like silver branches, but is only one boy and his half-broken accordion. It's not quite music that lives over the baskets of bruised peaches, the soft cod stiff in its barrels, nor is the laughter anything more than tourists knocking their forks against their knives. Bruno is as still and as dark as a stone. Bruno, wake up and listen. There are evenings when nothing seems as heretical as dusk, with its intelligent hands and its simple confusions. For if there are flowers on this earth, why not flowers on another, and then in women not so perfect as flowers? The second poem I'd like to read is called This Country Surrounding the Garden of Eden, and it's in 4 parts. Each of the parts relates to the name of a river that flowed out of Eden. Pizan, where there is gold. First they took the cedars and the larches, dragging them away by their needles and cutting them off by the root. And who would have known that their satin and green could line our path like thorns? Then they took the flowering figs and the maples, the petals that filled the air with sweet wings stung our eyes and our hands. At autumn's golden pitch, they came with their fire and their sickles, and even the orchards unclenched their fists, dropping their arms into the crackling grass. And the things that once grew as we grew now changed without changing, like the sand in the wind. Gihon that compasses the whole land. At the first frost we found our sheep with strangled hearts, lying on their backs in the frozen clover, their eyes wide open as if they were surprised by a constellation of drought or endless winter. The wolves walked into the snow, like men who have given up living without love. Cows would no longer let go of their calves, hiding them deep in the birch groves. Everywhere the roads gave off their animal cries, running toward the edge of what we had thought was the world, and the names of things as we knew them would no longer bring them to us. Hiddekel, that is it which goeth toward the east. It began with the whales coughing their last drops and the fish with blistered scales that were thrown up by the river. We left each day with empty nets and ropes, for our bodies seemed to lose their way home. Candles and tallow disappeared from our cupboards until every house came to live in darkness. The night lost its noises one by one, and the silence filled us with the fear of glass and strangers. That spring no salmon or swallows returned, and the river moved restlessly under its ice, like us, like magicians who forgot what came next. Euphrates. Then one day when the sea was as still as the sky, and the horizon disappeared within its own folds, when every nest had been emptied and scattered and brambles and cobwebs tore at our faces, when our plows and our wheels lay broken in the dust, and our instruments were like mute and obedient children, when our children no longer spoke our language, and our own tongues were like stones sharp against our lips, we dreamed of a country far up the river, where a man and a woman stood naked in a garden, their faces naked of memory.